Good morning and welcome to the conversation. These conversations are part of the Show Up and Shine Social Media Visibility Challenge. And the live conversations are literally between me and some of the ladies who are part of the challenge. Today we are on day 13 of the challenge. So, Nicole, welcome.
Thank you.
Apologies if there's noise in the background. I think we're building what's going on around Nicole. It's okay. We'll try and figure out what we can from the conversation. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a mum of a 22-year-old, well, 22 next week. Can't believe that. Time's gone so fast. So yeah, my background's in accounting. So I was in accounting for about 18 years, which was way too long. way too long. But while I was doing that, I started training as a mentor for young people. And there I realised that, what I love is actually working with people and helping people. So while I was doing the accounting, I was actually working with like a mental health rehabilitation charity. So even though I was doing the numbers in the background, what was beautiful about that job was that I was able to really work alongside the people, and some people had interest in accounting, so they would work alongside me, help write checks and look at invoices, things like that. And I realised at that point that I was fed up of just punching the numbers in the background. I wanted to actually get close and work with the people. So then I started to move on to mentoring young people that were on the verge of getting thrown out of school, having challenges. Love that. And then started working, just moving into coaching. Trained up as a coach years ago. And I was originally coaching young people on confidence and life skills. I was doing that for about 2 years. And then after that, I moved into coaching adults as well that were struggling with their exams and low self-esteem, low confidence, anxiety and stress. So yes, that's my background really.
Awesome. Thank you for shedding some light into sort of your background and where your story is coming from, so to speak. So just to give people a little bit of background on our relationship. So I was running some workshops with the Holistic Well Women group, and that's where I met Nicole. So Nicole and her amazing mother, I must say. Most times when you see Nicole, you see her mother by her side. So Nicole and her amazing mother were, they were always there. They were always engaged in the sessions that we were running. And so we kind of struck a chord, struck a conversation then. So it's great to even have her on this challenge. One of the things Nicole said to me is that, I'm shy about this social media thing. So I want to start putting myself out there a bit more on social media. So can I join the challenge? And I was like, yeah, exciting. Let's do it. Let's go. So Nicole, how have you? Oh yes, Mom is in the building. Hi, Mom. Hello, Esther. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So Nicole, how have you found the challenge so far? Before we go into the conversation.
Yeah, I found the challenge really good because you're very supportive and you're very good at motivating and encouraging without being. I was going to say without being too forceful, but yes, you can be forceful at times. But it's needed. It's needed. At the end of the day, we come to this wanting to be better, wanting to do more, and you're able to bring that out of us. So I think when I first saw the challenge, I thought, it's something that I need to do. And where I want to start going into, I do need to really push myself out there. And I feel I've been holding myself back. So yeah, I saw the challenge and got right on board, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing meeting lovely women who all have different stories and all doing brilliant things. And it's been great working with you as well because you have a gift for bringing things out of people. Yeah.
Awesome. Right. So you told us about the coaching. So that was what you used to do. What are you currently doing?
doing quite a few things. I'm quite, what they say, like a multifaceted person. I like to do different things. I have interest in different areas. So I love anything creative. I love, and that's the reason why I think I met you, because I started going to that health and wellbeing group. Partly because I've been, like, the last year or so, I've been at a really low point in my life. I'll speak about that a bit more at a later date. But my mum invited me to this group of beautiful women, and it's all about well-being and creative crafts. So I love crafts. So I went there with an open mind, learned how to make things like cushions, bags, creams, soaps, and all different things. So it was learning all different things. And also, while I was there, the lady who runs it actually asked me to run a jewelry making class. So jewelry is something that I actually started making about 10 years ago. I started to learn 10 years ago. And I used to make jewelry. I used to go to events. I used to run jewelry making workshops with adults and children. And I used to sell my jewelry online as well. But then about 3 years ago, my aunt died suddenly, and she actually was on the journey of making some beautiful jewelry herself. So we used to really connect on that. So when she died, I think it was a grief thing, and I just totally stopped. I just couldn't. I had loads of supplies in my house, all the tools in my house, and I just couldn't do it. So for 3 whole years, I didn't touch anything named jewelry. So when I spoke to a lady at this wellbeing group, and she said, look, you need to push through that. She'd been through something similar, and said, look, you need to do it. So she asked me to run a class, and I thought, I haven't made jewelry for 3 years. Can I really do it? But because I'm the sort of person that sometimes I'm faced with a challenge, and I think, okay, you know what, I need to get it done. I need to push through this. So I just said yes. And then I thought, Nicole, you haven't made jewelry for 3 years. Can you still make jewelry? But went home, made some things, and then ran the class, and it was brilliant. The ladies loved it, and what they were able to achieve was brilliant, really brilliant. It was lovely to see their faces. And I think, when people think they can't do things, and then you see them do it, and it brings up that belief in them. So that was amazing. So creativity is definitely something that I love to do, and I'm getting back into doing the jewelry. I also do graphic design as well, so things like logos, flyers. I recently did a funeral program for someone as well, which the family loved that. I also do wedding stationery. So I think there's a lot of creative things I think have been in me, but I find that sometimes when you're dealing with a lot of things, you just focus on the task at hand, and you sort of just bury, things that are there. So for me, it's a time really to bring out my creativity more.
Right, I love that. So it's time to start seeing creative Nicole come out a bit more.
Definitely.
Wow,
Definitely.
awesome. So you make jewelry and you do a bit of graphics design.
Yeah.
Awesome. And have we opened an online shop yet, or is that still in progress?
It's in progress. Definitely. It's in progress.
Awesome. I like that. So we talked a bit about this wellbeing group that you were part of, and it's an amazing group. Now, last Friday, the group was having a celebration, and part of the celebration was to showcase some of the activities that the group had been part of. And one of the amazing things that has come out of the group is this choir. Oh, tell us a bit about the choir, because you were like leading at the front, and I was like, go Nicole, come on. And you actually shared a beautiful, when I say beautiful, it was a lovely post that you shared earlier in the week. And you shared the video as well. Do you wanna talk us through that to an extent? That was a very sort of vulnerable kind of piece that you shared.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, the group, that the way how that worked was just amazing. Because originally it's a creative craft group, and all we were doing were crafts. So at one point we had someone come in, and she was doing poetry with us. So there was one session where she just said, give me some words that relate to how you feel about the group. So we said words like uplifting, we feel at peace and things like that. So she went away and actually wrote a song and then came back the following week to the group and showed us it. So we saw it, we added some words, took away some things, and then we were actually just singing, like just going through singing it. And then the community centre that we have the group in, a pastor came in to hire the hall, and he just said, oh, he came in and said, oh, what are you guys singing? And he loved it. He said, oh, you guys need to go on Britain's Got Talent. So we were just laughing. And then he said, okay, you know what, I have an event coming up in, I think, 2-3 weeks. Can you guys actually come and sing at the event? And we thought, well, we're not actually even a choir or anything. And that's how the choir actually formed. We said, yes, we'll do it. And that was that. So we went there, and from there, we've been getting event after an event, like invitations to different events. So we've gone to like, I think it was a youth event, and then from there we actually went to the Nigerian Festival UK a few weeks ago. So that was way out of the comfort zone. So it's been beautiful because none of us are true like experienced singers. I mean, I've sung years ago in church in the worship team, but to be honest, I haven't sung in front of anyone for over 10 years. So for me, this was just part of well-being. It just felt good to do. I think none of us actually thought we'd be going and actually singing in front of people, but it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing because I think when we do it, people seem to really enjoy it. I think the words are catching, and they seem to enjoy it, and it's great fun. It's great fun, and I think through that, I'm actually going to start moving forward with my singing as well. I really love it. I really do. Anything creative, anything musical, I love it.
Wow, I really love that, because that was a bold step, and to see that you ladies have gone on to sing at events.
Yeah.
It's amazing how something can start small, and then it can explode as you run with it, and it's helping with your confidence, it's helping you guys get out of your comfort zone, and it's helping you to grow.
Definitely. And I think part of me putting the post out the other day was, I think where I'm at in life right now, I feel that I've been holding myself back for so long. I've just sort of been hiding, just hiding, peeking through, thinking, there's things I want to do, there's things that I feel that I need to do. But I've always had an issue with really putting myself out there. I've been the type of person who will do things in the background. I'll help people, and I've never minded if they take the credit for it. I'm not bothered about getting recognition for certain things. But I feel that because now I feel that I'm being led to really help a lot of people. I can't stand in the shadows anymore. I need to push myself out. So part of putting that post out there was very vulnerable for me, because some of my best friends don't even know that I can sing. One of my best friends, she texted me the other day and said, "Oh, what was that all about? I've never heard you sing." And I thought, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about me, so I sort of hold them back. But that was really being vulnerable, and just putting it out there. I know it wasn't perfect, but it was just putting it out there and knowing that things don't have to be perfect. Sometimes we really just hold ourselves back and don't do something because we think, oh, what's this person going to say? How are they going to feel about it? And we have all these, these things in our minds going off, and we hold back. So that was part of me just saying, no, Nicole, put it out there and keep it moving forward. That's something I always say, keep it moving. And that was definitely it.
I like that, because a lot of times we're hesitant because things are not perfect. So, you've touched on a really good point there, that it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, that's it.
Sometimes, like, we won't post a video because it's not perfect. Sometimes we won't stand up and sing because we don't have perfect voices. So I guess if I was to ask you that, how did you feel? Because you mentioned about, like, it was like sort of pushing past a barrier, like coming out of something. How did you feel, like, mentally? How was that made you feel, like, particularly on Friday? after the celebration, you did the singing and you had some jewelry. You had a store with some jewelry that you were selling. What did that feel like? Because before you joined this well-being group, you were not there. You were not at that stage.
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, it felt great because even with the singing, 2 years ago, towards the end of 2021, I had COVID really badly. And it's even to now, it still affects my breathing. Like when I'm going up the stairs, it's still very hard. I get very tired. I have the fatigue and things still going on. So just to get up there and actually sing, because at one point it's like every time I open my mouth, it was just like nothing would come out. And that went on for a while. And I started to think, oh, I can't sing. And then you hear yourself, and it's like, oh, that sounds horrible, you know. So just to overcome that and actually go and sing in front of people, that really made me see my growth, and see that, if you keep going at something, you will get there. No matter how long it takes, you will get there, and it was great. It was a great event, and I think, yeah, it was good to put myself out a bit more. Yeah, definitely.
So, ladies who are watching, Nicole, no matter how long it takes, you will get there.
Mm-hmm.
You will get there. So don't hold yourself back because things are not perfect. Like as Nicole is talking, there's little nuggets that she's dropping. And my husband put in the comments something about limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of us, we allow limiting beliefs to hold us back. And
Yeah.
because those limiting beliefs are holding us back, we don't get to enjoy certain things. We don't get to explore our creativity. We don't get to produce things that we would ordinarily produce because there's a limiting belief that is holding us back. Nicole, you've been a coach in the past. You want to say something a bit about limiting beliefs?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, limiting beliefs is something that, people aren't normally aware of what it is exactly that's holding them back. So with myself, because, being a coach and having coaches to actually coach me, that's a big part of it. You have to be open to being coached. And I think going on the journey, I realized I had limiting beliefs. I'm still working through some, and I think they play out in all different ways. So yeah, definitely they do. They can, we can allow them to hold us back. I've had issues with sometimes. I think for me, fear of success was definitely one of them. Just being scared to be out there,
Wow.
and that's been playing out a lot throughout my life. I think where even with my coaching going forward, I've been a coach for a number of years. I'm certified in different modalities where I can help people. But when I was working with a company, to me, it didn't feel like I was actually putting myself out there. I was sort of hiding behind the company, and now that I'm going to go and actually launch my own thing, it's like, ooh, and I think it's a thing of, okay, well, not will it work? It's more, what if it works? I'm going to be out there, So that's where I feel that I just hold myself back, So I know for me that's a big thing, the fear of success, but also not feeling good enough sometimes. And I'm very open. I'm going to be very open, but that's something I've dealt with over the years. To be honest, it's to do with, a lot of people have issues with certain things growing up, and yeah, I've got daddy issues, and to keep it real, where I've never felt good enough in that respect through certain things in the past, and that has really held me back. So I've had to do a lot of work on myself over the years, but in working through that, I realised that I am good enough and I can bring a lot of things to the table, but that's because I've done the work. But a lot of people, they're caught in this thing, and sometimes they're not aware of what it is that's holding them back. It's like having a wall in front of them. Every time they go forward, they hit it and then keep hitting it, but have no idea why. And for that reason, they do need to go and see someone to try and break it down and help them to realize what it is in order to move forward. So yes, I think going forward, that's my passion, really, to help people in that way, because I've been through that myself, and I'm still working through that. It's always work in progress. Everything's a journey, but you have to be open to see, okay, what is stopping me, and how can I find tools or support to help me move forward.
Wow, the fear of success.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The fear of success. Like, even just thinking about it, how we can hold ourselves back. Sometimes in coaching, one of the questions we like to ask people is, if nothing was holding you back and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you like to do? But interesting for you is, I know what I want to do, but it's more like, what if it goes right? That's fear. That's an interesting place to be. But I think just to encourage somebody, and also to encourage you, Nicole, is that you will never know until you take the step. So yes, the fear might be there, but the only way to defeat the fear is by showing up. The only way to defeat the fear is by going ahead to do the thing that you want to do. And as you're growing into it, so for example, the fear of success, let's say it's to do with launching a business. Just take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. Yes, there's a bigger picture, because we say dream big. So there's a bigger picture you're working towards. There's a picture on your vision board. But take it one step at a time to get to the manifestation of that picture, to get to the realization of that picture. Because when they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? You don't eat the whole chunk. So just take it one day at a time, one day at a time. And as you are taking it one day at a time, you're also growing into the person that can handle the success that comes with that business manifesting.
Very true.
Because you're growing along the way. And that's the thing. Sometimes we look at our goals, we don't realize that we are growing into those goals. Those goals is helping us to grow. And as you're growing, you're becoming that person. You're becoming the person that can handle the successful business. So just take it one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Do something every day to add to the bigger picture. So, Nicole, I remember one of the sessions, one of the workshops I did with the group. And I think this one particularly was on gratitude. And I remember after the session, you mentioned that particular day you were not feeling like being there. And yet you still came, and you found the session very helpful. Can you sort of shed some light on that? Because I know that we all face different challenges in life. And sometimes the challenge that we are facing is the reason why we don't show up. Is the reason why we hold ourselves back. Is the reason why we don't pursue our dreams. Is the reason why we are not functioning at the capacity that we know we can function. It's the reason why we don't tap into the potential that we have. We don't unlock the potential that we have. So do you want to share a bit on that?
Yeah, definitely. So I've had some chronic health issues for a number of years. I've been dealing with, they've diagnosed me with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And in the last 2 years, I've been having more like chronic migraines that will last for days and just knock me out for days, sort of thing. And it's easy to sometimes get caught up in those things. Because like I have chronic pain, but I also have what they call brain fog. So there's times when, it's a struggle to really think, like when you're really overtired and your brain just wants to go to sleep. It's a bit like that. And there's like a bit of a struggle to really string words together to really process things. And I've had those issues for, I think, since about 2007, the actual symptoms started. And at the beginning, it was like, what is this? It started off a bit like the flu, then the pain just got worse, and it was just nerve pain, and then just like extreme fatigue I've never felt before. So that's been going on, and I realised that what seems to trigger it now is stress. And it's hard not to deal with stress because we all have stress, you know. But sometimes when I don't deal with that properly, then I just hold things in, bam, it just knocks me out. The pain starts, the fatigue starts, and those sort of things. But I find that years ago, not many people knew about fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. Now people do know more. But I remember years ago, I went onto Facebook. They've got all these Facebook groups, and I thought, oh, let me join some of these Facebook groups because people might give me tips and things like that. But what I realised with a lot of the groups was that, people are just talking about, I'm on this amount of medication, my life's finished, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's very draining. And I thought, look, I want some, uplifting, I want some support, I want some positivity here, and I couldn't get it there, So I thought, okay, put those groups to the side. I thought this is going to make me feel worse. And I found a lot of the time over the years, it's that sort of narrative that people have when they're dealing with certain things. And I'm not knocking anyone because everyone deals with things differently. But I think through having, sometimes you can have something happen to you and you sit there saying, why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me now? And to be honest, if I hold my hands up, I've been there at the beginning, when you're young. So I think I was about 27. I'm now 43. When it first started, it was when I was 27. And, you're in the middle of, big corporate career and everything's fast paced and you have to slow down. So, yeah, I did go through that why me stage, but didn't stay there very long. That's not me. But then it was really like, okay, well, what can I learn from this? And I think what I can look at and even be thankful for is that it helped me to slow down, and it sort of changed my direction. At that time, I was in a big fast-paced accounting job doing very well, and that was great. But I think that sometimes things have to change, or things happen for you to see a different side of yourself, and that's what I think happened for me. Because it slowed me down. I was able to tap into creativity. I've always been creative since I was young. I like to draw because I can draw, I can paint, I can write poetry, all those things. But those are things I actually just put to the side. When you think, okay, let me get a good career, and I did that with accounting. But I just got stuck. It's very pressurized, very fast-paced, and I got just stuck on that. So I think having the health condition slowed me down enough to make me think, oh, let me start doing this again. Let me start doing that again. Even though I did sort of push it to the side again years later, but I think sometimes these things can help you really see who you are. It strips things back, slows you down, makes you look inside yourself more, and really find out who you are. So that's what I found with that's happened with the health conditions. That's the health condition I have. Sometimes it is a lot. Sometimes I'm sort of okay. People don't see me. I'm resting. I'm getting myself back together. But it's not something that I allow to hold me down for long. Because I think that some people with illnesses, it becomes them, and they just identify with just that thing. And it's like, oh, I could say, oh, I have fibromyalgia. That's me. But that's just a part of me. There's so many other parts. So yeah, I think I'm very passionate about people, not being defined by their illness. There's so many different illnesses, and they call them invisible illnesses because, a lot of people don't know I suffer with anything. Because when you see me, and especially when I'm on a good day, I can be talking and happy and, doing my usual with everyone, but then only people close to me see those days when I can't get up, when I can't think, when I'm in so much pain, But still with that, that just happens sometimes, but you can't stay there. Or I don't like to stay there anyway. There's too much to do.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Nicole. For those who are watching, please, comment, engage. If you have any questions for Nicole, please put the comments in the chat, and I'm sure she'll be happy to answer them to the extent that she can. But Nicole, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna ask you in a minute to speak to people who are in that why me place. And as you were speaking, I remembered, I think it was something I read on LinkedIn where a gentleman said that, I think it was during lockdown. So he had he was a top exec in a big company somewhere, and he was going at it. He was at the peak of his career, and then he got a heart attack. He got a heart attack. He was in hospital for a couple of days, and he said by the time he came out, he reevaluated his life. He went from being a top exec in a big company to being a postman. He said he made that decision because it was the best decision for his well-being. He said being a postman gets him exercising, he's walking, he's out in the fresh air. Like, this is a lot better than being in front of a computer in meetings all day in an office somewhere. So for him, he had to make that drastic change. And sometimes that's what it is. We have to make some drastic changes so that we can look after ourselves better. Because I think maybe this is what keeps us in the why me state for long, because we want things to remain the way they are. You just have to shift your understanding a little. You have to just shift things around a little so that you can still carry on doing some of the things that you were doing. So if there is someone watching today and they're in that place of why me, and it might just be that things are not working out for them, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different reasons that people can be in that place. It could be health issues. We've just had COVID. A lot of people have been laid off of their jobs that they thought they'd have for life. So they could be in that place of, my job's gone. What am I going to do now? Why is this happening to me? There's a lot of people out there that have come out of broken relationships, that are thinking, why is this happening to me? I've been with this person for 20, 30 years. Now I'm by myself. What do I do now? Why me? So I think it's all situations are very different. But I think, first of all, it's really about accepting that it's not their fault, and that they don't deserve whatever the issue is, whatever that they're faced with. It's not a punishment, it's not something that they deserve to happen to them. And I think it's also about looking at the mindset and trying to open up their mind to, okay, well, this is how it was, but because it was that way doesn't mean that was the right way and that was the way it had to remain. To be open to change and open to growth, because I think through some of these adversities we grow. It forces us to grow, and a lot of the time people grow in a way that would never have happened without that happening to them. And when they can get to the other side, they think, oh, I didn't know that about myself, or I'm able to do a lot more than I thought I could do. So it's really about looking at where you are and just looking at it like a book, a book that you've had to turn the page over, and the book's not written yet, but you're in that place where you can write the page, you can take a pen and you can draw things, you can write the words, you can make that story, the rest of that story for yourself, and it's not as though we were born and we have to follow that path that we were on. And there's always growth. So it's about being open to change, open to growth, and open to moving through that difficult stage in order to get to the other side, and getting support as well, because you can't do it alone. I think it's very important. I'm a very open person, a bit too open sometimes, but I think sometimes people really close up everything and they think, oh, I'm at this stage and people thought I was this and this has happened to me. How are they going to think of me now? I've been there years ago when my son was young. My marriage broke down. I think he was about 8. And I went through a phase of, oh, I'm not married anymore and I've got a child. I've got a young child. What are people going to think of me? And to be honest, there was a friend of my son had a friend, and his friend's parents started treating me very differently. You know, when the breakup happened, I thought, oh, okay, because I think they liked the dynamics of, you know, me, you know, their child. I won't say boy or girl, but their child actually having a friend that was from a nice home with two parents. And when that broke up, I think it was like, oh, she's a single parent now. But when I see them now, they're praising me for how I raised my child. But back then it was like, what's going to happen to that? I think I got the vibe that it was like, what's going to happen to that child now is with a single mum, especially since he's a boy, you know? So I think it's getting out of that place of judgment, of putting that judgment on ourselves when we're going through something, and just working through it. Because when you're going through a situation, it's stressful enough. And I think sometimes we just add unnecessary stress on top when we're getting in our heads and thinking, oh, how are people going to see me because of this? It's really about getting into ourselves and thinking, okay, who am I going to be through this? And taking off the added pressure of that.
I like that. So, you know, thinking about what other people are going to say or what other people are going to do, and focus on working on you. I really love that. I really love that. I must say, Mom is doing an amazing job. But Mom is really highlighting the fact that Nicole, you have done an amazing job.
Thank you.
And thank you for being an example of somebody who doesn't give up just because life is not working out the way you want it to work out. You know, thank you for giving up, because I think people can hear your story and it can give them hope. Because there's some people who give up because of illness, who give up because of broken marriages. But you haven't given up. You've kept going. You've kept going. And I like what Mom said, you know, that even the illness has not stopped you. You're still going. So whatever you're doing is working.
It's through God's strength that I'm doing things. That's all it is. Because I'll be honest, you know, I feel like if I didn't have God to turn to in certain times, I'll be a mess, a total mess. So it's really leaning on His strength. That is what it is, and He shows me parts of myself that I didn't know existed. So that's really what it is.
I like that because for some of us, those who have a faith, it's our faith that gets us through. And sometimes I always wonder, for people that don't have a faith, like what is it that they hold on to? How do they get through it? But thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I'm going to move slightly to what you are doing today, because we talked about the creative side, we've talked about the coaching side, we've talked a bit about your story, your resilience. In fact, honestly, Nicole, you are an example of a resilient woman. Like, you really are. You're a picture of resilience, because when we talk about resilience as the ability to bounce back, like, you're bouncing back every day. You're having to bounce back. And you know what I love? I love the fact that you recognize, like, where you are and what things are like. You're kind to yourself. You know, the other day Nicole sent me a message and she said, I need a day of rest. Like, it's been a busy couple of days. I've been tired. I've not, you know, been doing so much as I need to, but I need a day of rest. And you know what? Some of us need to get to that place where we realize that we need to rest. We need to take a moment to look after ourselves. The sad reality is that we wait for an illness to remind us we need to look after ourselves, but let's not wait for an illness to remind you need to look after yourself. Just go ahead and look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You can still show up. You can still shine. You can still tap into all that potential, all those things that you need to tap into, but you need to be kind to yourself and look after yourself. So, Nicole, in the times that we're living in, right? In the news, we hear so much about this crisis that we're in. And you are doing something to help people with their utility bills.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I think beginning of the year, a lady that I know actually just said, let me show you something. So I'm very open-minded, and she did a quote with me. So she helped me to save on my utilities, so gas and electric, also broadband and insurance, like home insurances. Also, like the gas, the boiler and boiler cover and home cover, emergency cover as well. So the company that I'm partnered with, they will help to, save on your bills. Also, just you have one bill, so just like a nice simple bill, rather than paying British Gas, paying this one, paying that one. You can have just one simple bill, and have all of that together. But the beauty of it also is that you can have a cashback card. So how that one works, when you go, they're partnered with certain shops. So certain shops you'll have up to 10% cashback, and other shops may be a bit lower. But even if it's a shop that you shop in that isn't one of the partners, you still will get 1%. Every time you go and do just your general shopping, you get cashback on this card. That when you accumulate that money, that will be actually be taken off your monthly bill. So that's something that really, when I heard that, I thought, oh, so I can go and just do my food shopping. I can go and get a little bit of clothes or whatever it is, and then that comes off of my bill. And that's what I really loved about the company. So at the time, I wasn't looking for any other opportunities, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to share this anyway. If it's helping me, I'm going to help people I know and share that. So that's something that I do now. So we've also recently launched a fixed rate. So a lot of the fixed rates have been pulled off of the market for the energy. So we have a fixed rate for a year. So that's something that I can help people with if they want to have a quote as well. It's a brilliant business. There's two sides to it. You can actually save and you can earn as well. So people can earn an extra income if they want to go and help other people, or they can just save on their bills, which is brilliant, especially at this time. Definitely need it.
I like that. So if people want to connect with you or even want to find out more about this stuff, how can they reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook. So on Facebook, my name is Nicole Appiah, so Appiah. In what do you call it? In brackets, also Nicole Lynch. That's my maiden name. So yeah, they can reach me on Facebook. That's probably the best way to reach me, really. I think on Facebook, or they can reach me by email as well. So my email is nicole.lynch@outlook.com. So those are probably the best ways to reach me.
Awesome. I guess another way they can reach you is by reaching me and I'll reach you.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm still working on the social media. That's why I need help in that area. So it's work in progress.
No, that's absolutely fine. So I guess then going forward, what are some of the things that you want to focus on in terms of, I guess, whether it's being able to help people, what are some of those things that you want to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that I want to focus on going forward involves people. So I love working with people. And I think when I've looked back, even though I spent so long, for 18 years doing accounting, I realised that it's problem solving that I think that was the element. It wasn't punching the numbers. I don't love maths, but I think it was the problem solving element that I loved. And I realised that later when I moved into the mentoring and coaching side. So I think going forward, I want to definitely help people through this crisis with the energy side. But I also want to work with women women that, like myself, are going through a transition in their lives, whether that be, marriage breakdown, relationship breakdown. It could be, the children getting older, moving away, and now they're left by themselves, and they think, oh, who am I? What am I supposed to do now? And people with, chronic illness, that to let them know that they don't need to be defined by that. You don't need to be defined by the situation you're currently in. A lot of people, they go through something, and then while they're going through it, they just feel lost, like, there's no hope. And, we've all got certain gifts, we all have a purpose here. It's really about trying to break down the layers and realize who they are. So I think that's what I'm really passionate about, working with women in that place, and really helping them to push through and really be who they're meant to be.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. So this has been sort of a conversation that has come out of the Show Up and Shine challenge. So with the challenge, if someone is kind of watching and they're like, what's this challenge all about? Or, do I need to join it? What would you say to them?
Yeah, definitely. You're the best person to work with. Once I met you, like last year in the wellbeing group, when you came to do the coaching for us, the wellbeing sessions, I just connected with you, because I'm the sort of person that as soon as I meet you, I can either just feel something from you, and I thought, yep, you're a genuine, lovely person who really means the best for people. And with this challenge, I think anyone that is either in a place where they may not have a business, but they want to actually, just put themselves out there for maybe a different cause, or they could be doing something voluntarily, or people that have businesses, I think they should definitely connect with you, because you have a way of, of nicely pushing people, nicely pushing us ladies, not too forcefully, but with a little bit. You have a nice way of doing it, and getting things out of us that we didn't even know were there. So I think for anyone that's at a place they really want to move forward, step forward, definitely get in touch with Elizabeth for sure. No hesitation.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Nicole. And on that note, we are going to end this live session. If you do want more information about the Show Up and Shine challenge, please feel free to reach out to myself. If there is any part of this conversation that Nicole shared some things and they hit a spot for you, and you'd like to get in touch with her, you can get in touch with her via email, or you can connect with her on Facebook. Alternatively, you can reach out to me and I will connect you through to her. But ladies, gentlemen, you heard what Nicole said. There can be so much happening around you, but don't use that as an excuse not to do the things that are deep inside of you, the things that need to come out. You have so much potential. There is so much in you. Don't hide it. Don't wear the label of an illness. Don't wear the label of your situation. You are bigger than your situation. You are bigger than that illness. The world needs to see you, regardless of the things that are going on around you. So be resilient. Don't hold back. Don't allow things to limit you. And I think for me, that's my biggest takeaway from what Nicole was saying, is not to allow things to stop you. Because Nicole, you even mentioned about the creative side and how, your auntie passing away, that had sort of like held you back. But now you're back again. You're like, I can do this. I can do it. So just to also put it out there, Nicole is going to be launching some jewelry, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to be launching some jewelry. And you're doing, let's not forget, for those that might have joined us later, you're doing the graphic designs. Mm-hmm. If you need a graphic designer, reach out to Nicole. If you want to find out more about her jewelry stuff that she makes, please reach out to her. And if you do run any sort of groups, whether it's a well-being group, whether it's a women's group, a men's group, whatever, and you want someone to come in and teach people jewelry making, then please reach out to Nicole, because when people do creative things, it unlocks something else in their mind. It removes those blockades. So if you want to have some creativity, or if even you work in a corporate setting and you think that, it would be nice to have something fun, then just invite Nicole in. She'll come in and she'll do some jewelry stuff. And, Mom told us earlier on that the session was amazing. The session was fun. I missed it that day. But, it's something that can help people. It can help people. So please reach out to Nicole. Otherwise, have an amazing day. I think that's goodbye from myself and from Nicole.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
All right. God bless you, people.
Take care. Bye.